Money plays an important but not key role in self-realization. It is a tool that can help us in self-discovery and realization of our plans, realization of our potential, which is much greater than we imagine. To understand where I am and where I want to go, see it in your introspection. The levels I will tell you about today will help you understand this and see what psychological traps may await you. Today I want to consider with you one of the models for understanding finance and life, the traditional hierarchical model, financial levels of wealth, more inherent in Western philosophy. Take a notebook, coffee or tea, something tasty, and let's dive deeper into our money, financial levels, psychological traps, and more. Where do we start? With dependence on parents, so the dependency level. The main task in this period to move to the next is to learn, self-study and know clearly what I want both in family, spiritual and financial plan. We will study at all levels this, and here just we have first inner passion. Parents will not be able to realize this desire. Either a child or an adult, you learn to inspire yourself. Our growth comes from our I want. What kind of money distribution can we have here? We are saving up for someone's or our goals. It's very when somebody starts investing at this level. Often these investments either completely burn out somewhere in the way to develop for training for business or just for life. During this period, it is important to start learning to understand what money is, how it works, how to manage it, to ask questions. I draw your attention to psychological problems. At this level, it is very comfortable. You do not have to strain much and somehow consciously or not, you do not really want to change your life and change yourself. There is nothing wrong with a woman at this level now and, for example, is looking for something to do or has taken a break and raising children. None level is bad. It has its lessons and pros and cons. At this level, people often get stuck in the role of victims. When a person is gaslighted, when they think that they can do nothing, know nothing, others are better. Others are already doing 3 businesses and given birth to their 5th child and have flown around the globe. At each stage, we are faced with our own fears, our weaknesses. That's why it's so important to have the right mental habits. Praise yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others when you look at social media. Value your accomplishment. Value yourself as you are. To easily move to the next level, you need to actively learn, develop your social connections, and a good way is to have a mentor or teacher either in your topic or a coach, perhaps better as teacher in your field of profession or activity. I will say right away that financial levels are not tied to age. A 35-year-old woman can be dependent on her husband, or vice versa. A person at the level of independence took a risk and fell to the level of dependence. This happens and it's not necessarily only the person's fault. Life can be different. Transitions between levels are smooth, meaning a person can be between levels. The levels are more for our perception. The next level, survival, when prices in the store matter. When we graduate from university, we need to find a job somewhere, rent an apartment, buy toilet paper, and how to pay for utilities. At this stage, there is usually one source of income. Good if there are 2. You learn to understand and feel the price of everything, basic needs. The attitude towards money changes, becomes deeper. What kind of money distribution can we have here? Most likely, 100% will go to everyday life. It's great if you haven't gotten into debt. When do we start to transition? We have saved our magical I want. It does not allow us to dive into everyday life and go into depression there. Also, as a rule, somewhere there, depression still sometimes happens. In general, each stage is usually accompanied by a personal crisis. We haven't taken on a lot of loans, and slowly we come up with something or adapt work or study more to save more money, and we get used to putting aside 10% of each income for a safety cushion. Then you look and the cushion is already set aside and you can already save 30% of your income, and you find yourself at the next level. At this level, it may seem that everything is the same. There is no way out, chronic stress from a lack of funds. It seems that a bright future is somewhere far away and generally an illusion, and you were deceived. This is a kind of test of your goals and endurance for viability. And here Ukrainians will say that most of the country lives at this level, and this is true. I think most people have recognized themselves. War and economic difficulties makes life more difficult than in many other countries. But I assure you, the ways out of this level are the same for everyone. How to move on? Fear, anxiety, you need to work with all of this and minimize it. I know it's not so easy. Effectively concentrate on your life. The quality of life does not depend as much on money. Keep a daily routine, learn every day, improve some skill every day. Make an action plan, a plan for loan repayment, if any. Gradually, step by step, you can get out of any trouble. Positive thinking creates miracles, long-term goals and actions every day towards them. Be true to your goals, focus on yourself. Stability. When restaurant prices matter to you. Not a cafe, but a mid-range and higher class restaurant. You already have a 6-20-month safety cushion. Often during this period, education is still important in general. It's always important to improve your skills. It's just that over time we need to study less. Not 8 hours a day, but 1 hour every 3 days. And we improve to the point where we have 1 or 2 regular sources of income on a stable basis. For example, it could be a job plus some of your own products. What is a safety cushion? It's your monthly expenses multiplied by 12 months. What kind of money distribution can we have here? 30-40%. That is, you can gradually save more. Maybe you bought something you wanted for a long time. Some big financial goals, like a car, for example, without using loans. The main and common trap at this stage is to spend more than you used to, because there is this craving for what you wanted for a long time. You want to enjoy the money and go all out. And by the way, there is nothing wrong with that. The main thing is to remember your big goals. The next level is accumulation or capital accumulation. When you are careful with big expenses, with an expensive vacation, when it is a big expense but achievable, and we pay off all loans. In this stage, we start creating an investment portfolio. We start investing in our pension fund. And often here people buy real estate. For example, make a 30% down payment and the rest is a mortgage. Because as we learned at the previous step, we accumulate not only money, but also our possessions that will preserve or multiply their value. Also, here they start thinking about charity. And at this level, it is appropriate to think about it. 10% goes to making the world around you better. Travel often falls into the level as well as the previous one, and we continue to accumulate. Next is the stage that many people really want: independence. When prices don't really bother you. You've already had enough of spending money, you've already tried what it is and how it is. Not all goals have been achieved here yet, but some classic ones like buying a house, achieving your long-desired financial goals and passions, traveling all over the world have been accomplished. Sometimes people only start enjoying at this stage, but in that case, it's a little harder psychologically to sustain this independence. Also, every life has its nuances. Independence is when you can not work for 5 or more years. You have savings and also a steady income. Rather, several automated incomes. The priority is long-term goals and investments. This comes a deep understanding of the quality of the result from long-term goals, and there is real confirmation of this, because the person went towards this having their own long-term goals, and it seems that a broader understanding of large-scale thinking, which is constantly talked about, opens up. The perception of the concept of scale changes and gains value. Compare the large-scale thinking of a person living in a village on salary of 1,000 hryvnia a month, and the scale when you already live in independence, have an income, and for example your norm is $300 a month. It's very different. Depending on where you want to live, you have a different amount, different quality. Here we continue to save and think about additional source of income. Even if we go on vacation, as practice shows, a people whose life is normal will not do nothing for more than 2 years. Still, something will be invented somewhere. The person will still earn money somewhere. The level of financial freedom. 4 or 5 sources of income, and altruism starts to work most actively. We want and can and have the experience and stretch and connections to really help influence process. This is both psychological and financial growth. You can influence in a way that produces visible results. Everything continues further. You create new sources of income, save, invest, improve the existing resources. An important point that is often forgotten. When you cannot manage yourself effectively, it will be difficult for you to manage a team or solve large-scale issues. Therefore, inner development readiness, that is the ability to use tools, directly affects our outward picture of life. The last level is access. When you can pass on your wealth to your next generation and they can live their whole life without working at all. In this hierarchical model, as you can see, our wealth grows not with how much we earn, but with how much we can save, and the ability to preserve comes second. If you are interested, I could examine the table in more details, and a lot more can be added to this table as well. According to this model, you can create a strategy for your wealth, but this is not the only path, not only one strategy. There are many more strategies and models, I think, for absolutely each situation. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and write something in the comments. What do you think about the video? And hope to see you at the next videos.